So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes and challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this morning, I'm delighted to have back with us Jenna Fan, who's director at Fanfare Music. So, firstly, Jenna, thank you for coming back and spending a bit of time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, Fanfare Music, what you do, all the wonderful things to help people, that would be great.
Sure. So Fanfare Music is an award-winning music school in Wakefield. And as well as teaching multiple instruments and art forms, we lead choirs in the district as well. And more recently, I have been developing an innovative, quite low-cost solution to help businesses improve their productivity, their morale, and well-being at work.
Oh, well, right. Well, please, let's dive in there and tell us more about that.
Well, it's all about music. It's all about the power of group singing. So group singing is proven to release hormones, feel good hormones. So your dopamine, so
Yes,
that's your happy hormone, your feel good hormone. It releases oxytocin, and that's your community hormone. So that's the one that, when you're all at a football match and everybody's
yes,
singing along and everybody and the team's feeling really bonded. That's your oxytocin, and that's
brilliant.
released through group singing. And endorphins. So that's your stress relief. So, you add all those things up, feeling good, so motivated, feeling a bit more productive, really up for it, bonded with a group of people, and stress relief. That kind of lends itself quite well to a workplace environment, doesn't it? So people who are
Brilliant.
interested in the well-being of their team, but also, improving productivity in the
Yep.
workplace. Group singing is kind of a thing that maybe we should be talking about.
Absolutely. Sounds great. We must get you along to one of our events, and let's do it. We do well, the one that comes regularly is a 90-day planning event. So we do business planning every 90 days. So let's arrange for you to come along and do a session with the people that come to that, if that's
Let's
okay.
do it. Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
was absolutely super, and probably also my organisation action coach, because we're actually global, but we're national. So when we all get together, and that sounds like that would be a wonderful thing to do. So brilliant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
goodness. So I think we spoke together sometime last year. And I can't remember exactly how long ago it was. I'm keen to know what's changed for you. Obviously that particular thing, but what else has changed for you since we last spoke?
We so well, I suppose the music tuition is growing. We
Yep.
are constantly getting inquiries about music tuition
Great.
for children, but also for adults. Um, so my teaching during the day has increased quite significantly actually recently.
Right.
And it's not just retired people who are looking for a hobby, it's working age people as well that
Okay.
are fitting it around, if they, it's probably a controversial topic, it's been in the news, hasn't it, about working from home and not working from home, and is that productive or not? But I've got people who work for themselves.
Yes.
So they are working from home and their
Yep.
time's their own to manage, and they'll fit a piano lesson or a music lesson around their work schedule.
Yes.
So I'll see them during the day, which is great because my evenings are full teaching children and
Yep.
teenagers, and taking care and taxiing my own children around. So I can't fit anybody else in in an evening personally. We do have slots with other teachers, but for me,
Yes.
I really like teaching adults, and
Brilliant.
yeah, it's been really fun this last year to kind of see that build up and that momentum grow. And then I have started to learn the saxophone. And it wasn't intended to be like a case study for work to kind of prove
Yes.
as an adult you can learn something new. It wasn't intended to be that, but it was something just for myself, really, because
Brilliant.
I my eldest is 11, and I feel like since I had him, I've not really done anything purely for me. I do
Yep.
loads of music. I play in bands. I've done loads of stuff, but it's all work.
Yep.
So I've started to learn the saxophone. I've meant to do it for years, and it's purely for me, and I'm absolutely loving it. But what I'm doing is I'm sharing my journey on my socials to show people I am practicing every day, and look how much I've improved in a week.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant. Yeah.
and it's so much fun. And so now I'm on a level now with my students because I'm a beginner too, and we're kind of
Yes.
learning together. And it's confirmed all those things that I say to people about you've got to practice, you've got to be patient, you've got to be forgiving of yourself when you go wrong, accept the mistakes. It's something to build on. I'm experiencing all that myself now, and it's helping me relate to my students even more than before. That's another new thing.
That makes a lot of sense. I always tell people that, as well as coaching business owners, I'm coached myself because we can't coach, you can't coach yourself, but it does mean I get the challenge, I get the same feelings. I still have those challenges, and the accountability. So it really
Yeah.
helps. So, and interesting enough, I when we work business owners, we do what we call alignment, which is sort of what would you like to achieve in the future, and how can the business support that? And there's some financial stuff, but a lot of there are a lot of people that talk about I'd like to learn an instrument, etc. So it very good. So just for anyone watching, what's the sort of range of instruments people could learn?
So our most popular instrument is the piano.
Yep.
But we teach piano, guitar, drums, bass guitar, violin,
Wow.
saxophone, clarinet, voice, DJing, music production, drama. So a whole range, burlesque, a
Wow.
whole range of things. Um,
Brilliant.
yeah, and it's always catered to that student. So some
Yeah.
adults, maybe they learn as a child and then they want to restart as an
Yes.
adult. So I've had a few recently. They'll
Yep.
email me and they'll say, "Oh, I learned till I was, a teenager, and then I packed it in, and I wish I hadn't. Can I start again? I've probably forgotten everything." That's what everybody says. I've probably forgotten everything. They haven't forgotten everything.
No. No.
We just have to kind of coax it out of them
Yeah. Yeah.
sensitively and patiently, and it's in there. It's like
Yeah.
riding a bike. And then it's rediscovering that love of music, and
Yeah.
it's so good for people. It's so good for well-being. It gives them a goal, something to work towards, and
Yeah.
it's something purely for them, and it's mindfulness. If you're playing a piece of music, you can't be thinking about what you've got to cook for tea, or what's on your to-do list for work. You haven't got time to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
You're purely in the moment, which is great, because then your mind has had chance
Yes.
to work in the background on all those other things.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
it's so good for people.
Great, great work. Yeah, we can see how your passion coming across with that. It's absolutely wonderful. And just looking back, since we last spoke, is anything significant? Any key challenges that you've had to face and overcome?
So, well, personally, I think I've had to look at the way that I'm pitching to businesses when I'm talking about our new kind of well-being,
Yep.
morale, productivity boosting product. So I've been offering workplace singing for well-being workshops for years, and I've done quite a few, but they've tended historically just to be one-off workshops. So I would
Yes.
go and I would just do one, and everybody'd have a great time, and everybody'd go, "Oh, we should do this again," and
Yeah,
and
they
and then
never
off I
happen.
go, and then that's it. So I wanted to kind of work on this longer term, longer term package for people, where I would go almost every week, not every week, but almost every week for 6 months with a goal in mind. So maybe that goal is at the end of 6 months, we'll sing at business conference,
Cool.
or we'll sing at our away day, or we'll sing at our well-being event, or
Brilliant.
sing, do a thing, do a performance, have a goal, because I think goals are really, really important. And that's something that I talk a lot with my children about. We set goals every morning in the car on the way to school, and I do it as well with them. And they do it, a personal goal and a school goal. I do a personal goal and a work
Brilliant.
goal. So I think having a goal is really important. And then I've developed a package where we can help people fulfill their CSR, the corporate social responsibility goals as well. So maybe every other month in the 6-month program, we go out and we do something in the community. We sing at the local care home, we do fundraising for a local charity, that sort of thing. So they're giving back to the community, and also making their business name kind of a bit more well known in
Yeah.
the area, showing that they're trying to do good.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very passionate about what I do. Sales, however, is not my thing. So that's been my challenge, and it's been learning. So I've been working with a mentor, and he's really helped me look at the way that I talk about what I'm offering,
Great.
because I know that it works. Because I've run numerous
Yep.
choirs. At the minute, I'm running 3 choirs a week, and I know that those people, their mood is on the ceiling
Yep.
after an hour or 20 minutes of singing even.
Brilliant.
They're giddy. Yeah, I know it works.
Wonderful.
But if
Yeah.
but if I say to people, I know it works, they don't know it works. I've had to, that's been my challenge
Yes.
recently, is looking at how I'm talking about what I do. Because business owners, it's all well and good getting their staff a bit giddy and making them all feel really good, but how does that benefit their business?
Yes.
So I've had to kind of switch my perspective from a choir leader who's interested in individuals' well-being to somebody who's offering a service to businesses to help them
Yes.
improve their business and help their business longer term.
Yeah.
So
It's a really interesting lesson. It is that, across the board, people don't actually care what we do. They care about the problems that we solve for them. That what we do for them in effect, and talking about what we do for them is going to influence them way more than talk about what we do. So totally get that. I find, to be fair, to be honest, I find that with some of my coaching colleagues, they're so passionate about the fact that coaching works and works so well. They talk about coaching rather than the outcomes from coaching, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, so I totally get it. So great. So that's obviously where we're talking about the productivity improvements of the singing that you do, which is great. And absolutely, as you say, you can see people when they've been in that sort of environment are happier, and happier people are absolutely more productive. In fact, there's a great book called The Happiness Effect that I'm talking to a lot of people about at the moment, which talks specifically about the impacts on productivity of happy people, if
right,
that makes
yeah,
sense, creating a happy environment. And there's some scientific work in there. So it's not just a belief. It is, look, this is the evidence of case studies of experiments they've done. So that, yeah, that could be useful because and I think most people, and I think your point is bang on. Most people sort of know it, but it's
yeah.
putting it in their context and their words and what it means to them that helps people buy it in effect, which is what sales is, helping people buy.
Yeah, and I think putting people at ease as well.
Yes.
I'm faced constantly with this. Oh, I can't sing. Do you know? At least 20 people every week say to me, "Oh, I can't sing. I can't sing. Oh, you don't want to hear me singing. I'd clear a room if I start singing." And I think, no, you probably wouldn't actually,
Yeah.
because actually, once you're singing in a group, you don't really
Yes.
feel exposed, and you probably can sing better than you think you sing. If you're singing by yourself, you hear every crackle and every
Yep.
bum note, but as a group it's amazing. We do actually equal a sum greater than our parts when we sing as a group, and that sounds horrible to say, but
Brilliant.
the mass effect of everybody singing together is quite something. But if everybody individually might have told me before the session, oh, I can't sing, but
Yeah. No, I
it's
get. Yeah, I totally get
yeah,
it.
so I have to combat that fear as well with people a little bit. But I think once people give it a go, they're all right. But I think it's the same with a lot of things, isn't it? You've
Yeah.
just got to give it. You've just got to try.
And I would imagine, part of, especially for the first session or sessions, that the overcoming the fear of doing it in the first place, that releases a whole bunch of other endorphins and things that make people feel great. Having
Yeah.
achieved something they thought they couldn't is always
Yeah.
something that creates people, creates a great sense of well-being. Wonderful. And what would you say some of the key achievements that over this last sort of 12 months or so for you?
I would say it's developing this program. I'm
This
so proud
program,
of it.
yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds brilliant.
Yeah. I think I've structured it so that we have a timetable. So, week 1, 2, and everything that I do over the course of the 6 months in total, it's probably good. The 6 month program will take about 8 months, because we've
Yes.
obviously got initial consultation, and then at the end as well, we'll do a full evaluation, make sure that people have got out of it what I promised them that they were going to get out
Yeah.
of it in the first place. So yeah, I'm so proud of it, and we're working on a new web page as part of my website, to show some case studies, because I've worked with plenty of businesses, and I think people will be interested to read about those
Yes.
businesses that I've worked with over the last few years, and they can read testimonials and watch video testimonials and watch
Brilliant.
videos of what happens in the sessions, and maybe that would just put people at ease. So yeah, I am really proud of that program. I think it's going to be, it's next level,
Yeah,
from
brilliant.
what I've been doing before, just a one-off session.
And as a business person, how good would you say you are at celebrating your wins?
I'm not very good at celebrating wins, I would say. I think most people are probably not, because I'm always like, what's next? What?
I,
Great. So I've developed this program. Now let's go do it. And then I'll do it. And I'll be like, right, let's do another one. So I'm not very good at sitting back and taking stock. I imagine I'm not the only one.
you know, no, you're not. I mean, it is something we find very common. Is that entrepreneurial people, especially, are always looking at what they have yet to achieve rather than what they have.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things that's so important is to celebrate is A, for our teams because the people around us that have helped us achieve it, but also for ourselves in terms of building resilience.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in the difficult times when we're going, why am I doing this? Well, when we can actually say the things that come to mind is celebrating that we achieve that, we achieve that, we achieve that, and we lock the celebration locks that in so that we
Yeah.
do have things. So our subconscious is fully aware we've achieved these things. It can be a very valuable tool. So
Yeah.
I,
Because
I
there's a lot of knockbacks, aren't there? Lots of people say
absolutely,
no, a lot of closed doors. You know.
absolutely. And I just say, look, we work hard to achieve the win, so why wouldn't we celebrate that
Yeah.
it's the hard work that we're celebrating, I guess, rather than necessarily the achievement. But it's that
Yeah.
it took a lot to get there. So and what we say you've learned from both your wins and your challenges. What things come to mind?
Say that again.
What we say
You
you've
broke up a
learned
bit.
from achieving the wins, but also the challenges you've had to overcome.
What would I say I've learned? I think I've changed my perspective on lead generation. Um,
Okay, great.
yeah, I think I have learned a lot actually recently working with this mentor and then somebody else that I spoke to as well. He said there's three parts of business: lead generation, lead conversion, and then customer satisfaction. That's just something just clicked with that when he said that to me, and I thought, yeah, you're absolutely right. So I'm working really hard on lead generation, and I think I've kind of accepted. I have become more resilient. I've accepted that for a lot of people, because what I do is very niche, and what I do
Yeah.
is makes a lot of people very uncomfortable.
Yes.
I get that. So it's not for everybody. So
Yeah.
I think I have become more resilient and learned to accept that a lot of people are just going to be completely turned off by it.
Yep.
No way, no thanks, not for us. Um, and that's fine. That's fine. But I think it's telling more and more people about what I
Yeah.
do and communicating it in the right language for them, in their language that sparks their interest and shows them that this could be good for them.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that really is good learning. That is
Yeah.
the key to do this. It is, yeah. I mean, there's a great phrase in sales which is some say yes, some say no. So what? Move on. It
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. It's but unfortunately we tend to personalize the rejection. So people
Yeah.
so we take it that we're being rejected rather than our service or offer or whatever is being rejected. It's just like don't need it right now. That doesn't mean I don't like you or anything else. It just means I
No.
don't need that thing, and it's getting that. And you probably remember I like to collect favorite quotes and sayings. Have you got any other ones or anything that you find yourself using at the moment?
Oh, you've put me on the spot.
Don't worry if you
um,
haven't. It's not.
I don't know. I think the lead generation, lead conversion, and
Yeah,
customer
that's great.
satisfaction thing was really useful for me. Um, I think setting goals daily. I mean, that's not a quote, but it's a thing that I do, and I think that's really, really useful
Great.
to
Yeah.
do. But then also reflecting back as well.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right. It's not personal when people say no. But I think when you pour the heart and soul into what you do, and I'm so passionate, I care so much about music. You should see me when I'm teaching. I'm literally sat on the edge of my seat with this huge grin on my face. Come on, you can do it. And you pour so much into
Yeah.
it. It's very easy to personalize the no's.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It's not personal, is it? It's just business and you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is just the fact I just don't. And then I think the other thing to remember, which I think is useful if it's is no isn't not it's just not now, not
Yeah.
ever. It just
Yeah.
right now it's not in my and it may for lots of different reasons. Sometimes I
Yeah.
just don't feel a need for that particular thing. And I think one of the most important thing in lead generation conversion is persistence. Is I know
Yeah.
you appreciate 3 months ago, 6 months ago, last year wasn't quite right for you. But we're still doing this. It still really works. These are the and because lead generation is very much, in my opinion, there's a time element to it that is important
Yeah.
to understand. It may not be the right thing for me now, but it still might be in 6 months' time. It
Yeah.
might be absolutely what I want in 6 months' time, and it's not assuming that someone that said no at any point is no longer a really strong potential candidate in
No.
the future.
And then that gives you time to prove it as well. It gives you time to
Yeah,
prove that the thing works.
ab-
Or here's another case study, or here's another couple of case studies. This is what I've been working on the last 6 months.
absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And so yeah, it's building up. It is a persistent process, and it's a drip, drip, drip. I think one of the stats, which is what I found really interesting, is most people buy after the sixth or seventh touch interaction, some form of interaction with us. But most people give up after the first one or two
Yeah.
attempts.
Yeah.
So there's this massive gap. It's unlikely people are going to buy in the first couple of attempts. Now, if you accept that, all of a sudden it opens up the point that I have to go and have multiple contacts to statistically have a chance of making it work. I have to. It's not like I find it. I find it in what I do a lot is that I rarely actually get people. Let me get this right. I by being persistent, I rarely get people actually telling me to go away. Most of them say thank you so much for being persistent because I really did want to do it. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's gone out. I think the record's over 3 years. Someone said, "Look, I've always wanted to do this, but I've just never had the time." And so it's. I think persistence is a great learning for anyone in lead generation, lead conversion. Is just keep going because
Yeah.
somebody always
Reminds me of
looked
my
at.
children. They they
Well,
ask time and time again. I'm like, I respect your persistence. This is a good
oh,
quality to have.
yeah, if you want to learn persistence, just watch a child. Can I have an ice cream? Can I have an ice cream? Can I have an ice
Yeah.
cream? They aren't giving up, and because they know persistence pays, and somehow we managed to lose that, don't we? On the way, don't know what that's all about. I remember hearing a guy speaking, and he said, What do you think is perfect age for CEO? What's the perfect age?" And people were anything from sort of late 20s, but most people in the sort of 30s, 40s, 50s sort of thing. And he said, "Well, I think it's 9 years old." I think it's 9 years old. He said, we don't take no for an answer. We our goals and our dreams are as big as they could ever be. And we haven't learned all the crap that we tend to teach ourselves to say, well, we can't achieve the things that we really want.
Yeah.
And I thought, bang on,
Yeah.
it's unfortunately we tend to learn things that prevent success rather than learn things that enable success as we get older, which is a bit nuts. Speaking of learning, what would you say you've learned about yourself?
Oh, I think I've learned about myself that um I constantly need to carry on learning and developing myself.
Yep.
I think um it's very easy, isn't it, when you're busy with a business and children and running a family and a house, it's very easy just to coast and kind of, well, I'm doing this, it works, it's fine, I'll keep going, it's okay. But I have really enjoyed learning and developing through working with this mentor. I think, yeah, I've learned my capacity to learn again, and I love learning, and I've always loved learning. I'm a very good student because I
Brilliant.
like to learn.
Yeah.
I was that kid at school that always had my hand up,
Brilliant.
asking questions. I like to learn, and I'd kind of forgotten that, I think, a little bit, and just kind of coasting and wondering why people weren't signing up for scene workshops. But that's because I wasn't telling it right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it right. So I've learned that I can learn, I can
Brilliant.
develop,
Brilliant.
and I'm enjoying that.
Wonderful. So looking forward, I mean, what are the next stages of development, and what does the future look like, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
I'm hoping that the challenge would be to be juggling lots of visits all around the UK, going to see some lovely
Great.
businesses and working with their working. I'm hoping it's a logistical issue. I think yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in and working with people.
Mm.
I try to visualize, because I think that really helps kind of on the, on the path to progress. I like to visualize where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I can see myself in my car, driving somewhere and singing with a group of people and building trust and building those relationships and building that choir, because that's what
Yep.
it is. A group of singers is a choir. So
Yep.
building that choir. And then I can see myself driving somewhere else and singing with a
Brilliant.
different group of people and a slightly different dynamic, different relationships, different banter, and getting to know more and more people and spreading that joy for singing. And
Yep.
I love it when people come to a workshop and then after the workshop they go, I want more of that. I'm going to go join a choir. And they go and they join a choir.
Brilliant.
And it's not my choir, because it might not even be in my area. It's not about that. It's about that person has found a joy for singing or
Yep.
rediscovered their joy of singing, and they're going to go out and do it more and get all those benefits.
Brilliant.
Feel good. Yeah. So that's my vision. Busy, lots of singing.
Love it. I really love it. And I wonder, you've described being used to helping people that may have a level of fear of the whole stuff. How what you can learn from that in terms of the lead conversion process, because often there's a fear in the sale, and I don't mean the fear of I'm buying singing. It's just in anything. Most people naturally have this sort of reservation, and so I wonder what skills you clearly already have that you can bring into that sort of lead conversion process to put people. I'm sure you do put people at ease, but it's worth consciously saying, what do you do?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think in a session, it's slightly different, isn't it? Because in a session, basically I'm just I'm just totally myself, and I'm
Okay.
comfortable in my own skin, and I'm comfortable making mistakes, which I think is really important for people to see. I don't think, I'm a professional musician. I make music 7 days a week. This is what I do.
Yep.
And it's what I've done for years. But I make mistakes. And I think it's good for people to see that I'm comfortable,
Yep.
even though I might go wrong. Like yesterday, for example, I was at a choir session and I accidentally turned the page when I shouldn't have turned the page. I should have done a repeat. But I turned the page and I started playing the next bit, and they were all singing the other bit. And I'm like, oops. So I quickly flipped my page back,
Brilliant.
carried on. I'd clearly made a mistake, and I don't try and hide it when I make a mistake
No.
either. I'm just, loud and proud, strong and wrong.
Brilliant.
And I think that's good for people to see. So then people realize quite quickly that in my sessions, you don't have to be perfect. It's not about that. It's about community and well-being,
Yep.
and being comfortable and trust and relationships and honesty. So I think in a session, that's what it's like. I am just me. And very quickly people, they might cautiously join in, but they relax because of the hormones. It's just the hormones that are released in singing. So as soon as they just start to dabble a little bit, they feel the effects, and then off we go. We're all right.
Brilliant.
But then trying to combat people's fear, it's very difficult in a conversation, because the first thing they'll say is, oh, I can't sing. Oh, you'd never get my team singing. Oh, we don't like to sing. But so I suppose it's turning it around, and it's not making it about singing. It's sort of almost, that's just kind of that's the means, isn't it? That's the means. It's focusing on the goals. What we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve a team that likes each other more. We're trying to achieve a team that's more creative and more productive and more motivated.
Yep.
And it's something to talk about around the kettle or around the water cooler.
Yep.
Oh, what do you think of that new song? Or, oh God, I was terrible. I kept going wrong, or I can't get that bit. What's that bit? Well, how does that go? Just like the banter in a choir where people have known each other for a long time. My choir's been singing together for over 7 years now. And
Brilliant.
Some people have been there from day one. And it's those relationships that we want to foster.
Yes.
So yeah, I think for business owners or HR managers or HR directors or well-being champions, whoever I'm talking to about those sessions, it's about, yes, we're going to make people feel good, but it's also going to achieve that. And yeah, we're going to sing as well, by the way.
Brilliant.
But it'll be okay.
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm sure it will. Absolutely. Well, really wish you best of luck with this. And as I say, please send me some information on it, and I'll talk to a few people both for our planning sessions, but also one or two clients I'm sure would be very interested in this. And for anyone that's watching, Jenna, what's the best way of contacting you or Fanfare Music? What's the way of interacting with you?
Well, we're on all the socials. So we're on Instagram, fanfaremusic.co.uk. We're on Facebook, Fanfare Music. We're on TikTok, Fanfare Music. But you can email me, hello@fanfaremusic.com. Have a look at the website, fanfaremusic.com. The new webpage is coming very soon, within a week and a
Brilliant.
half. It'll be live.
Great.
So you can read all about everything that we're doing, singing and well-being in the workplace.
Fabulous. Well, look, for now, thank you so much. It'd be great again to swing by another 6 to 12 months and just see this develop. I'm really interested to see how this goes for you. But for now, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.